You have worked closely with Indigenous organizations, and I'm going to use the acronym here because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. The OIPA.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How important is this work to you?
Tremendously important. And actually, it's really interesting how, so the Orile Igamu, which is a ghetto suburb of Lagos, the Orile Igamu Progressive Association were a self-help group that they put themselves together to try and better what was a pretty rough area. And at the time, I'd left Guinness and I was looking for another major job. But a friend of mine offered me the chance to write for a local newspaper. And I was writing columns, and OIPA got in touch and they said, "Oh, we've been reading your columns, and I'd written some things about the need to empower Nigerian youth." And they said, would you be willing to come to the ghetto and meet some of the youth? So I said, yeah, I'd be delighted. So they said, well, you can't drive in. The area's too rough. You need an escort. So I had to meet them in a fast food restaurant in a Nigerian suburb. Then I got in their car, and I was thinking, is this a good idea? It's the last you'll ever hear of me, ransom note. Anyway, we drove through what was a pretty rough area, and actually it's described in the novel that I've written. Those experiences obviously form part of that. And then we got to the semblance of a community hall, and there were like 200 people, and they said, here's the guest speaker. And I wasn't expecting it.
And they just push up you on stage.
But we got on really well, and I just tried to give simple advice. Things like, there's an African adage: how do you eat an elephant? One mouthful at a time. And I was tried to help mentor them in some of the issues they were tackling. Take one step at a time. For example, their water was very bad quality, so I tried to show them how you take the water, you keep a third, you send a third to the government, for testing, you send a third to the business, and, document it and keep the pressure to improve